We just learned more in that initial news conference, we'd heard about 3 deaths. We have Stuart Kaplan standing by here too. So we just got a fuller picture too of that 3rd death. We of course have Trooper Fink, who passed away, the driver of the semi-truck. And then, as we just heard moments ago, the debris from the impact with the crash involving the semi seemed to create another deadly accident where a 74-year-old man from Jupiter also lost his life, accounting for those 3 deaths.
Let's go to Mike Trim. He is standing by at HCA, the hospital there, Fort Pierce. We're going to pick him up as soon as we have him. But where Mike is, you could take Okeechobee Road, and where the first officer saw this suspect, that was at Midway. And so it gives you kind of some perspective of exactly where all of this started. Mike, a lot more coming together after that news conference.
Well, you know, Holly, as you and I and Ashley sat there in the morning and saw this scene unfold, we knew there would be several layers of it, 2 scenes, but now we're finding about, you know, one person, unfortunately, a person from Jupiter that died as a result of the debris there in the road, as the investigator with law enforcement just detailed. I can tell you right here at HCA Florida Lawnwood Hospital, it was right here at this emergency room exit where Trooper Fink was brought this morning right after that collision, as we're learning, a U-turn collision right with a semi-truck took Trooper Fink's life. We talked about the troopers that were there, and they spoke of talking with this family here in this hospital. This is a, you know, not only an emergency room, but a trauma center, so really equipped to handle a serious situation like that. And it wasn't long right after that this morning there was a procession, and we do have some video of that, as FHP troopers led the way, leading Trooper Fink's body to the medical examiner's office to kind of get the details that we're going to get in this investigation. These are the preliminary ones that you're just hearing, that he passed away along with that semi-truck driver. I did ask the hospital representatives here if they could talk about, that was our question, were there any more victims in this crash? And now we are finding out, and they said it would all come through investigators, which it just did. And that's par for the course as well. When it is an FHP investigation, a sheriff's office investigation, it's usually those investigators releasing information rather than the hospital. But we know now that this is, you know, several layers to this, 2 scenes. And the procession that we do have video of, they're going to take a look at, I could tell you, and maybe you're just joining us in, maybe you're on your lunch break right now, but it led all the way through Fort Pierce here. The accident, yes, it happened at Port St. Lucie, but Trooper Fink brought here to the trauma center here at Lawnwood Hospital, and then taken to the medical examiner's office. As I was driving up Virginia Avenue, shut down, many people out of their cars, a somber morning. And you know, as you learn detail after detail, it was not only Trooper Fink that got the call, that nobody, you know, the family of Trooper Fink that got that call this morning, but now we're learning other people got that call. So we're talking people in our communities, in the Jupiter community, also the Port St. Lucie community with Trooper Fink's family, and the family of the truck driver, who we expect to learn more details about, that unfortunately, unknowingly collided with the FHP cruiser. And it just kind of goes to show you, and Holland, you said it the best, in, you know, these early morning hours, it's the wrong way drivers. And even Stuart Kaplan said you can't tell the distance and speed in which they're there and they're arriving, and just that impact right there, taking Trooper Fink's life this morning. So here at the hospital, still gathering details, as many of us are now, on this tragic event today. An FHP trooper died, and you know, just reading through the notes of what the FHP said there, in that this is the 53rd FHP trooper to die in the line of duty. So you can see that respect and that procession that was held this morning. It's not only FHP that's feeling the loss, it's the entire law enforcement community, first responders community, and community watching at home.
And he's so young, Mike, 26 years old, 3 years as a Florida Highway Patrol trooper, you know, survived by a fiance, a father, a stepmother who they said was his mother in all sense of the words. And then when he was so young, when he was just a kid, 6 years old, he put it out there. He said that all he wanted to do was help people, Mike. That really stood out to me as well.
Those folks left behind, and you know, the family of the trucker killed in this, caught up in this. now have to bear that burden. Mike, we're going to leave you. I know things are kind of winding down there, so we're going to let you get to it. Let's get back to Brianna Nesbrawl. She has been really at what now we're learning
Guys, I can't
a little
hear the
bit
anchors.
more of something else that we've been following this morning. Brianna, kind of give us a debrief.
Guys,
What was your
guys.
takeaway from all of this?
I can't hear the anchors.
Okay, yeah, she's having a little trouble. So just let her go ahead and she can start and talk.
Yeah, well, we know that manhunt concluded right here on Commerce Center Drive in front of this Castle Pines community. As we heard during that press conference, that white Kia sedan, that fleeing felon, he actually crashed and struck a tree here behind me. You can see it has emptied out. There was a tow truck here probably about 10, 15 minutes ago that did tow that Kia sedan away. But when we were here earlier, we saw it wrapped around a tree down there. And we saw deputies here earlier just investigating, canine sniffing through the car, trying to piece together any clues that they could find really here in this area. We now know that fleeing suspect, that fleeing felon, he actually fled into this community. A lot of these residents were just on standby warning each other. We spoke to some that said that they heard a lot of movement. They heard that chopper up in the air. They saw that those searchlights on. They saw law enforcement in their backyard as they continued to search for that fleeing felon, but they had no idea what was going on. We were just told to stay indoors. I recently spoke to some of them. They said they're just breathing a sigh of relief that person of interest was taken into custody, and now they are able, to come outside and enjoy their Friday morning, Friday afternoon here. But I do want to mention Commerce Center Drive here. It is about to reopen now that they have towed that Kia away, but definitely a sigh of relief for many of these residents here living in the Castle Pines community, knowing that this person of interest was detained. But we do know that now we know that manhunt ended here, right here on Commerce Center Drive here by that tree behind me.
Okay, Brianna, and again, you've been on this since very early this morning. Brianna, can you hear me? Do we know if Brianna can hear me? Yes, you can hear me.
Yes.
Kind of match up for me, Brianna. As you were gathering the information very early this morning, if we could stay with Bree, that would be great. As she was gathering this information very early this morning, how it matches up with the very latest we just heard from the Florida Highway Patrol. I know Bree's been working to fill in the answers. Bree, just give me a sense as you listened to that news conference, you got that update. How did that match up with, you've been covering this since very early this morning?
They mentioned that multi-agency search here, and I do want to emphasize it really was a multi-agency search here. There were, law enforcement officers from Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie Police Department, St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, FHP, even U.S. Marshals. We had officers coming down from Sebastian, up from Martin County. It really was an all hands on deck situation here as they searched for that fleeing felon. And I know they mentioned that, but being here and actually witnessing it, we saw at least 30 law enforcement vehicles, fire trucks, fire rescue, SWAT team. It really was a very active investigation. Earlier this morning, we arrived around 3:30, 3:45, not really knowing what was going on. We did see that chopper light. We were blocked off, closed off here from Commerce Center Drive, just wondering what was going on, asking these tough questions, waiting to hear these answers. We didn't know it was a fleeing felon. We knew they were searching for someone. We didn't know who that person was. All we saw was that Kia and that they were searching through it, but we didn't know what they were searching for, if there was that driver there. So they mentioned, that multi-agency search, and we really saw that it was a heavy law enforcement presence here for about 8-9 hours. Again, we've been here since 3:30 this morning, and I'm looking at the clock now, it's 12:50. So it really has been a long day, a long morning for many of these law enforcement officers here, but they could finally be taken a rest now as we do have a person of interest in custody.
Okay, Brianna Nesbrawl reporting live again. She's been on this since the very start. And again, all of this leading up to the newest update we just got from Florida Highway Patrol. 3 people are dead. Trooper Fink, as well as the driver of that semi-truck involved, and then some sort of accident with the debris related to that collision that took the life of a 74-year-old man from Jupiter.
It looks like 2 separate investigations. FHP has said they're going to be handling the investigation that pertains to I-95 and Trooper Fink, and then we also know St. Lucie County will be on where Brianna is. I think we've got another element to this.
I want to bring in our Kate Hussey because she was there for every moment of that news update from the Florida Highway Patrol. Kate, what are the standout moments to you as we're kind of, wrapping our minds around, the multiple scenes, what was connected, what was not? Tell us what we need to know.
Well, I can tell you first, Ashley and Holly, that this was a really emotional press conference. We could feel the emotion here as news crews covering this. Several pauses here at the podium behind me as those who knew Trooper Zachary Fink took the stand and spoke about him, spoke about his family that he leaves behind, his legacy that he leaves behind, and the impact he made sacrificing himself to protect others, those that he doesn't even know in this community. Now, like you mentioned, Ashley and Holly, there are a lot of moving parts here, so I want to walk you through a brief timeline of what we know so far. We know that this all started around 2:40 this morning on West Midway Road in St. Lucie County. That's when a St. Lucie County deputy first noticed this white Kia, the driver driving recklessly, twice the legal speed limit. That deputy tried to pull that white Kia over, but it continued onto the highway where Trooper Zachary Fink saw it. He then also tried to pull this car over. We're told that that white Kia actually made a U-turn and was going southbound then in the wrong direction. Trooper Zachary Fink tried to do the same, and that's when he hit that semi-truck, killing, unfortunately, the driver unseen, and then himself was transported rather to HCA Lawnwood here in Fort Pierce. So we're told that he was pronounced dead at the hospital as many law enforcement gathered there to pay their respects. We're told that he leaves behind a mother, a father, a fiance, all here in St. Lucie County. This was his home. He was 26 years old, and the message here was just so powerful that spoke to his character. Those who spoke about him said he wanted to help people from the age of 6 years old. All he wanted to do was to protect those that he loved, and that's certainly what he did today. Yeah. Those who know him got emotional here talking about that. He will be missed. He was a beloved member of this troop. He's been a 3-year veteran with Florida Highway Patrol, and so it's been a tough day. We do want to touch on that separate incident. As you heard in that press conference earlier, there were 3 deaths, and we want to clarify 2 of those are involving Trooper Zachary Fink, the other that tractor trailer driver, which has not been identified yet. The third was completely separate. We're told that happened around 6:30 this morning. In the Gatlin Boulevard area, we're told that a blue Toyota hit a semi from behind, causing a 3-car accident. The driver of that Toyota, a 74-year-old man from Jupiter, was unfortunately killed. The other 2 drivers uninjured. But again, a tragic day across the board. 3 lives lost, 2 separate instances, and a lot of pain here.
It has been, Kate, and I'm glad you clarified that too. We entered that second update from FHP in the middle, and when they talked about, the debris from a semi, we connected it as the semi involved with Trooper Fink, but as you just clearly pointed out, and that's an important clarification, it was a separate accident, separate area with debris from an accident involving a semi that took the life of that 74-year-old man from Jupiter.
But man, oh man, you talk about the proximity. I mean, very close. It really, when you look at kind of that wide-ranging area, Kate, we can tell, and I know you've been there for a little bit, and we've seen people arrive, officers arrive. This is a tough one. This is a blow.
It is a blow. It absolutely is. You can just imagine having to respond to all of these instances, these incidents, including a chase that occurred after that original accident when deputies tried to revive one of their own along with this truck driver, and then those officers having to be pulled away to go and help with a separate chase and then have to go divert some resources to this accident as well. They weren't able to sit back and grieve, some of them, but quickly responded to continue to serve the community, and they touched on that a little bit today. It's an oath that they take, and they take on knowing the possibilities involved. But as one of the troopers here spoke, he described Zachary Fink as somebody who knowingly took on that burden. His family took on that burden, knowing what it could entail, and they're thankful he at least left behind a legacy that his family, his community, and his coworkers can really be proud of.
Brave, brave, brave does not even begin to cut it. Those officers sign up to serve and protect, knowing that the day is not promised to them. Kate, you know, gosh, what can you say? Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
And it stood out to Kate, it stood out to everyone listening when we heard that, you know, Trooper Fink had wanted to help people since he was very young and just help keep people safe, help others. And we saw that demonstrated in the moment that led up to him losing his life. He made that U-turn, not just to continue to follow, you know, this person making that U-turn, going the wrong way on the interstate, but to helpfully help others, you know, warn others of this wrong way driver on I-95.
So many families torn apart. So many families will never be the same, including Trooper Fink's after today. The trucker's family, we know Jupiter ties, Port St. Lucie ties. And this is going to be a pain that resonates for quite a while. This is just the very beginning of the heavy police, law enforcement support that we are going to see really in the coming days, and just offering whatever emotional backup, physical backup that they can give as well.
Trooper Zachary Fink lost at age 26 in the line of duty.